The room went quiet the moment I stood up. Not polite quiet. Not respectful quiet. The kind of quiet that means someone's about to bleed socially. 60 people froze with champagne flutes halfway to their mouths. The projector hummed behind me, still glowing with a photo of their house, the one everyone kept calling a family legacy. My mother was smiling in emerald green. My sister had just finished a speech about sacrifice, love, and togetherness, as if she hadn't spent the last few years treating me like a walking ATM with opinions disabled. I adjusted the microphone. I wasn't planning to say anything tonight, I said calmly. My voice surprised even me, steady, clear, dangerous. But since we're celebrating legacy. I clicked the remote. The screen flickered. Then my mother's voice filled the room. She's not family anymore. She's just a sponsor. A gasp rippled through the crowd like someone had dropped a glass plate onto marble. My sister's laugh followed in the audio. Warm. Casual. Cruel. She didn't even blink. Like a puppy waiting near the table. Someone in the front row whispered, "Oh my God." I clicked again. Screenshots appeared, group chats, jokes about my money, memes about wallets, messages laughing about how easy I was to manage as long as I kept paying. I stepped closer to the mic. For those of you wondering, I said lightly, this is what love sounds like when it thinks you're not listening. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Then the ledger appeared on the screen. Page after page. Clean. Precise. Unforgiving. Mortgage payments. Utilities. Repairs. Insurance. Emergency fixes. Transfers they never asked permission for. A grand total so large someone in the back audibly sucked in air. If the house belongs to my sister now, I continued, then congratulations. She also owns the debt. My sister shot to her feet. Are you serious? I smiled. Dead serious, I said. Unless you'd prefer we call it theft. My mother lunged forward. It was a gift. Funny, I replied. I don't remember signing a gift receipt. Just checks. Hundreds of them. My father started to stand. I turned before he could speak. Sit down, I said gently. Or we can discuss the loan you co-signed in my name without telling me. He sat. That's when the doors opened. My grandfather walked in, slow and deliberate, like a judge arriving late on purpose. He took the microphone without asking, glanced at the room, then at my parents. You raised a thief, he said evenly. And a coward. My mother's face collapsed. He looked at me. The trust is yours now. I corrected it last week. Your sister's name has been removed. My sister grabbed a chair to keep from falling. You want a legacy, he finished. Earn it. He dropped the mic literally. Let it hit the floor. I placed a thick, stapled invoice on the gift table. Right between the wine boxes and photo albums. You changed the locks, I said to the room. I changed my future. Then I walked out. No cake. No hugs. No looking back. And that was only the beginning. Before the microphone. Before the invoice. Before 60 people learned my family's favorite hobby was spending my money with confidence. There was a text. It arrived early in the morning, sharp and surgical, the way people send messages when they want distance without conversation. We've changed all the locks, including the gate code. We don't trust you anymore. No greeting. No explanation. No punctuation wasted on warmth. Just dismissal. I stared at my phone in my kitchen, barefoot, coffee going cold. Not because I was shocked. Deep down, I'd felt the ground shifting for months. What stunned me was how corporate it sounded. Like I'd been terminated from a job I didn't remember applying for. I replied with 2 words. Understood. That wasn't maturity. That was restraint with a fuse. I didn't wait for a response. I opened my banking app and canceled the automatic transfer I'd been sending every month to cover their mortgage. Quietly. Efficiently. The way you turn off a machine that's been running too long. 2 days later, a message arrived from an unfamiliar number. No emojis. No passive-aggressive ellipses. Just a subject line that screamed panic. We have a problem. Please call. I didn't. By then, the problem had already started fixing itself. But to understand why this hurt, and why it ended the way it did. You have to understand how I became useful. For years I said yes. Yes to covering bills, just this once. Yes to emergencies that somehow happened every month. Yes to helping my sister get back on her feet, even though her feet had a habit of reclining comfortably on my bank account. I told myself it was temporary, that families help each other, that appreciation would come later. It never did. I paid the mortgage on a house that wasn't mine, but somehow always needed me. I covered utilities, insurance, repairs. When a storm damaged the roof, I didn't hesitate, I paid. When internet bills spiked, I handled it. When something broke, I fixed it. No thank yous. No acknowledgement. Just expectation. My sister always had a crisis. A card maxed out. A car issue. Childcare costs that were unmanageable. I sent money. Every time. Years passed. She was still figuring things out. And I was still paying. The first real crack came on a random afternoon while I waited for groceries. I scrolled mindlessly and froze on a photo. There they were. My parents. My sister. Her kids. Standing proudly in front of the house. The house I paid for. They were holding a sign that said "Home Sweet Home." The caption read something about pride, legacy, and the right hands. Not my name. Not even a tag. The comments were worse. Praise for her strength. Her sacrifice. Her generosity. I felt like I'd been punched politely. A few days later, I called the bank, just to be sure. The mortgage was still in my name, but there was a request pending to change the primary contact to my sister. My stomach dropped. Then I checked my account. Another transfer. Unauthorized. Familiar. Her card. When I asked her about it, she told me not to make it a thing. When I asked my mother, she told me to avoid conflict over a small amount. Small to me. Life-ending to everyone else when they missed a payment. Then came the group chat. They renamed it Family Circle. Someone posted a meme about big sibling energy and wallets. Jokes followed. Requests. Laughs. Even my father joined in. Nobody defended me. I left the chat. They added me back. I left again. And then, on a Friday afternoon, I heard the truth. I was outside doing yard work I'd been maintaining for seasons. The window was open. I heard my sister laughing. Then my mother. They were talking about me. Not quietly. Not carefully. Casually. She's not family anymore, my sister said. She's just a sponsor. I didn't move. I stood there, water dripping through my fingers, feeling something finally break clean instead of shatter. Not rage. Resolve. That was the day I stopped asking to belong. That was the day I started preparing. The invitation arrived 3 weeks later. Thick paper. Cream-colored. Gold trim so shiny it felt smug. My mother's milestone birthday. A legacy celebration. Formal venue. Slideshows. Speeches. The kind of event people throw when they want applause more than honesty. I didn't RSVP. I didn't call. I circled the date in red and started preparing like I was going to court. Which, emotionally, I was. I printed everything. Every transfer. Every payment. Every emergency that somehow landed in my lap. Mortgage installments lined up like soldiers. Utilities. Insurance. Repairs. Even the money siphoned off without asking. Each line had a date. A purpose. A transaction receipt. I compiled screenshots. Group chats. Jokes about my money. Casual cruelty dressed as humor. I added the audio I'd recorded accidentally. Voices through an open window that never imagined accountability. I saved it all. Then I waited. The venue was exactly what I expected. White linens, balloons, catered plates, polished smiles. My mother stood beneath a sign that read, "A house is not a home without family." I nearly laughed. I arrived late on purpose. Heads turned. Smiles froze. My sister blinked like she'd seen a ghost but tried to recover. I sat in the back. They wasted no time. Speeches about love. Sacrifice. Togetherness. A photo of the house appeared on the screen behind them. Applause followed. Then my mother took the mic. She praised my sister. Called her the future. Said the house was finally in the right hands. That's when I stood. You already know what happened next. But what you don't know is what happened after. The next morning, my phone exploded. Messages accusing me of humiliation, of betrayal, of being ungrateful. My sister posted cryptic quotes about wounds and strength. Then the call came. A lawyer. Calm voice. Carefully chosen words. They wanted it to go away quietly. No noise. No court. No truce. I laughed. I gave them terms. Full repayment. Every cent. Or I go public with receipts. They had a deadline. They took it. The wire hit my account exactly when the clock ran out. I didn't reply. I didn't thank anyone. I wasn't there for closure. I was there for accountability. The money arrived without apology. No message attached. No explanation. Just a sterile description that tried and failed to sound neutral. Reimbursement settlement. No further liability admitted. It didn't come from my parents. It didn't come from my sister. It came from a business account tied to a name I didn't recognize, which told me everything I needed to know. Someone had panicked. Someone had done the math. Someone had decided I was more dangerous with the truth than with the money. I printed the confirmation. Saved it. Backed it up. Multiple times. Then I said nothing. A week later, I posted one video. No music. No rai. No dramatics. Just facts. I spoke calmly about boundaries, accountability, and what happens when family confuses access with entitlement. I blurred the sensitive parts but left the total visible. Because numbers don't lie, even when people do. It went everywhere. Therapists shared it. Estranged adult children reposted it. People messaged me saying they'd finally canceled payments they'd been guilt into for years. One man said it gave him the courage to stop leasing his mother a luxury car he couldn't afford. I didn't respond. That night, my father left a voicemail. He asked if I thought money could heal everything. If I thought I'd won. I deleted it halfway through. They had changed the locks. I had changed the rules. And for the first time in years, my phone was quiet. I live in a small modern apartment now. Big windows. Clean lines. Silence that feels earned. No group chats demanding favors. No emergencies disguised as expectations. No guilt wrapped in concern. People ask if it hurts. It doesn't. Because what I lost wasn't family. It was obligation without love. I don't feel lighter. I feel clearer. Calm doesn't float. It grounds. I stopped waiting for messages that never came. There were no apologies. No explanations. Not even a dramatic attempt at reconciliation. Just silence. Not the painful kind. The confirming kind. I was never their daughter. I was a service. And when I stopped providing it, I stopped mattering. Now my mornings are mine. Coffee without anxiety. Sunshine without interruption. A phone that doesn't buzz with demands. When people say, "But they're your family," I nod. A cage can feel like a home if you've never stepped outside. I did. The air doesn't ask what I'm worth. I don't tell the full story anymore. Only to people who've earned it. Trauma isn't entertainment. It's something you survive and then stop rehearsing. If anyone asks why I walked away, I keep it simple. I stopped mistaking access for affection. That usually ends the conversation. They probably think I still care. That I'm angry. That I'm waiting. I'm not. When the mask slips that far, you don't wait for it to be fixed. You leave. No forgiveness speech. No dramatic ending. Just locked doors. Clean boundaries. A future that belongs to me. They changed the locks. I changed my life. And this time, I kept the keys. Please click the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. This will encourage me to make more interesting stories. Also, let's know where you are watching from. Thank you and see you in the next story.